Sometimes your life has to completely fall apart before you finally become the person you were supposed to be. The nights where you feel embarrassed to even explain your life. The feeling of watching everyone move forward while you secretly feel like you're collapsing. Because rock bottom does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like waking up tired of your own habits, tired of your excuses, tired of being disappointed in yourself. There is a moment that changes people forever. Not success, not motivation, not inspiration. Pain, real pain, the kind that forces you to see your life honestly for the first time. Because most people do not change when they are comfortable. They change when staying the same becomes unbearable. That is what rock bottom really is. It is not just losing money, or failing, or being alone. It is the moment your old identity stops working. The moment you realize the version of you that got here cannot take you any further. And that realization is terrifying. Because now you cannot hide anymore. You start seeing the patterns, the distractions, the laziness disguised as burnout, the fear disguised as waiting for the right time, the self-sabotage disguised as comfort, and for the first time, the excuses stop sounding convincing. That is why rock bottom feels so heavy. It strips away illusion. Suddenly you are forced to sit alone with your real habits, your real mindset, your real decisions, and most people run from this moment. They numb themselves, scroll endlessly, escape into entertainment, pretend everything is fine, because rebuilding yourself is painful, not physically, psychologically. You have to destroy the identity that has been controlling your life, the version of you that procrastinates, avoids discomfort, quits too early, makes promises but never follows through. And the hardest part, that version feels familiar, even when it is ruining your life. That is why change feels unnatural at first. Your brain would rather stay in familiar pain than enter unfamiliar growth. Read that again. Your brain prefers predictable suffering over uncertain transformation. That is the trap keeping most people stuck for years. They wait to feel ready, but nobody feels ready to rebuild their life. Nobody wakes up excited to face failure, insecurity, loneliness, or uncertainty. The people who rebuild themselves are not fearless. They are just tired of living the same cycle. And eventually, pain creates clarity. You stop chasing motivation. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop expecting one magical breakthrough to save you. Instead, you focus on small actions, tiny wins, because rebuilding your life is not one giant comeback moment. It is waking up and choosing differently, repeatedly, going to sleep earlier, getting your focus back, keeping promises to yourself. Learning discipline, even when nobody is watching. At first, it feels pointless. The progress is invisible. Nobody claps for you waking up earlier. Nobody celebrates you resisting distraction. Nobody sees the internal war you fight every day. But slowly, something changes. Your mind gets quieter. You start trusting yourself again. The shame starts disappearing because your actions finally match the person you want to become. And that is when rebuilding truly begins. Not when your life looks successful from the outside, but when you stop betraying yourself in private. That is the real comeback. Not money, not status, not validation, self-respect. Because once a person rebuilds that, everything else changes. And maybe that is why rock bottom exists, not to destroy you, but to force you to become someone new. Sometimes losing everything is the only thing that finally forces you to rebuild yourself correctly. If this video felt personal, subscribe to Visual Motive for more deep psychological breakdowns about discipline, identity, and rebuilding your life from the inside out. And comment this below. What part of yourself are you trying to rebuild right now?